This lesson is about polynomials and the factor and remainder theorem. There are two types of division of polynomials. One is called long division, one is called synthetic division. So we will work with long division first. So first you have to set the problem up. 2x to the third minus 11x squared plus 13x plus 15 is the dividend. It's going inside the division sign. Okay, the divisor is 2x minus 5. That will go on the outside. And that's how we set up our problem. So what we're going to do is we're going to divide. We're going to divide the first term, 2x to the third, divided by 2x, which is the first term of the divisor. So if you recall, 2 divided by 2 is 1. When you divide exponents, you subtract. We get x squared. The x squared is part of the quotient or answer. It goes on top. And then we multiply. So first we'll divide, then we multiply. So we get 2x to the third minus 5x squared. Okay, so that goes underneath here. And then you have to subtract. And if you remember, to subtract, you can add the opposite. So I'm going to draw a line here. And I'm going to change the signs here. So 2x cubed minus 2x cubed is 0. Negative 11x squared plus 5x squared is negative 6x squared. Then you will bring down plus 13x. Okay, then we're going to go over to the side and we're going to take negative 6x squared divided by 2x. Negative 6 divided by 2 is negative 3. X squared divided by x is x. So you take negative 3x times 2x minus 5. Negative 3 times 2 is negative 6. X times x is x squared. Negative times negative is positive plus 15x. So we have negative 6x squared plus 15x. Okay, and then we are going to subtract. Again, we will add the opposite. So we will underline and make this a positive and a negative. That goes to 0. 13 minus 15x is negative 2x plus 15. So negative 2x divided by 2x is negative 1. Negative 1 times 2x minus 5 is negative 2x plus 5. Again, goes underneath. And once again, we will subtract using the definition. So I'm going to underline and change the signs. So I get 10. All right. The dividend is the problem we have that we want to divide something into. So that is 2x to the third minus 11x squared plus 13x plus 15. The divisor is what you're dividing by. So in this case, it is 2x minus 5. The quotient is the answer. Okay, so I forgot to write down up here my minus 3x. Don't forget to write this down. And then we had minus 1. So your quotient is x squared minus 3x minus 1. The remainder is 10. Okay, so how do you write your answer? So your answer will be written x squared minus 3x minus 1. The 10 is positive, plus 10 divided by the divisor, 2x minus 5. Okay, now this might be a new form for some of you guys, and it just takes a little bit getting used to. Okay, so that is an example of long division. Now, on page 2, the next page, we're going to work on synthetic division. We can use synthetic division if we are dividing by x minus c or x plus c. So notice there is no coefficient in front of the x. It's set up a little bit differently. I'm going to draw what would look like notebook paper to start. So I'm pretending those are lines of notebook paper. So what we're going to do is we are going to divide in what's called synthetic division. And it's written a little bit differently. You have an upside down division sign. And the divisor will go right here. And the top line will be the coefficients of the dividend. Notice with this, we do not have to carry our variable terms. Okay, so that first line will be the coefficients of the dividend. So we'll do that first. So we're looking at 1, negative 13, 46, and negative 49. So space over a little bit because we need room to do some math. Okay, to get the number there, x minus 8 equals 0, x equals 8. And for this form, to use synthetic division, we're just going to multiply and add. So I'm going to bring the 1 down. And then I say 8 times 1 is 8, and it goes underneath the next term. Then we'll add down. Negative 13 plus 8 is negative 5. Let's multiply. 8 times negative 5 is negative 40. Notice it goes under the next term. 46 plus negative 40 is 6. 8 times 6 is 48. Add down, you get negative 1. So your answer is, first box that negative 1. This is always the remainder. So your answer is 1x squared. Now notice you have x cubed divided by x, so that will drop the coefficient by 1 every time. So we have 1x squared minus 5x plus 6, remainder negative 1. And so the best way to write your answer mathematically is x squared minus 5x plus 6 minus 1 divided by x minus 8. Number 3, if you look at number 3, I need you to notice that we are missing some of our x terms here. So we are going to have to do some work before we can even start. So let me get rid of this line here for just a minute. And I would like us to rewrite our problem. So I'm looking at x to the 5th minus 3x to the 4th. There is no x cubed term or x squared term. So we use zeros. Plus 0x cubed plus 0x squared plus 12x minus 33. We're going to divide by x minus 3. So when I set the problem up, I'm going to put 1, negative 3, 0, 0, 12, negative 33. If I do not have the placeholders, then I will miss the problem. I'm working the wrong problem. So again, how do we get the number? X minus 3 equals 0, x equals 3. Bring down your 1. 3 times 1 is 3. Negative 3 plus 3 is 0. 3 times 0 is 0. Add down 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 0. 3 times 0 is 0. 12. 12 times 3 is 36. And you get 3. So your answer is x to the 4th plus 0x cubed plus 0x squared plus 0x plus 12. Again, remainder 3. To write this mathematically, our answer is going to be x to the 4th plus 12 plus 3 divided by x minus 3. So we'll go ahead and box the answers here. So this answer is this, and the previous answer was x squared minus 5x plus 6 minus 1 over x minus 8. Now, the answer to a synthetic division problem can not only give you the division answer, it can tell the value of the function at an x value, and it can also tell us if x minus c is a factor. So let's see what this says. Okay, we want to use remainder theorem. So what the remainder theorem says, it is if we have f of 2 is the remainder. So we can use synthetic division to get our answer. Okay, so again, if you notice our f of x, let's rewrite our f of x. It's negative 3x to the 5th plus 2x to the 4th plus 0x cubed plus 6x squared minus x plus 4. Our first step is to do synthetic division. Our coefficients inside are negative 3, 2, 0, 6, negative 1, and 4. And this time you're going to use the 2 because it's given to you. So if we put a 2 here on the outside, bring down your negative 3. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. We add down negative 4. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. Add down, you get negative 8. 2 times negative 8 is negative 16. Add down, you get negative 10. 2 times negative 10 is negative 20. Negative 21. And then negative 42 plus 4 is negative 38. So you have f of 2 is equal to negative 38. So we can always use this method, synthetic division, to find a function value. Now, synthetic division will also tell us whether or not x minus c is a factor. Remember, a factor means that the term would divide evenly. The remainder is 0. So notice you are given x plus 4. Don't use positive 4. If you're given the x plus 4 or x minus 4, you have to set it to 0. X equal negative 4. So again, we'll get our notebook paper here. Let's see, and we have the following. So I'm going to put negative 4 here. And I have 6, 11, negative 60, and negative 32. Bring your 6 down. Negative 4 times 6 is negative 24. 11 plus negative 24 is negative 13. 52, get negative 8. Negative 4 times negative 8 is 32. Your remainder is 0. So the question is it a factor? So we're going to say x plus 4 is a factor. So the answer is yes, because the remainder is 0. If it was not 0, it would not be a factor. Number 6. It says factor this given this is a factor. So if I know given is a factor, this means f of 6 is equal to 0. So again, I'm going to do synthetic division. And let me look. Okay, so this time I was given all of the coefficients, descending order, 4, negative 24, negative 3, 18, negative 1, and 6. So again, notice we're going to start with synthetic division. And I know that my remainder has to be 0, or I have made a math error. So let's do this. Let's do it here so we can see the different colors. Bring down your 4. 6 times 4 is 24. Negative 24 plus 24 is 0. 6 times 0 is 0. Negative 3. 6 times negative 3 is negative 18. 0. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times negative 1 is negative 6, and we get 0. Now, what are we left with? That is 4x to the 4th minus 3x squared minus 1 equals 0. Now, if you notice, 4 minus 1 is 3. So if I factor this, my middle term has to be x squared. So I have 4x squared times x squared. To get a negative 3, I have a negative 1 and a positive 1. Okay, x squared minus 1 factors. We have 4x squared plus 1. We get x minus 1 times x plus 1. Okay, and all we want to do is factor this. Okay, but be careful. What's your final answer? I haven't done anything with your x minus 6 yet. So the final answer is x minus 6 times x minus 1 times x plus 1 times 4x squared plus 1. If you remember, you cannot factor the sum of squares. And that is what we are looking for. Now, it says factor into factors, and then this problem wants us to solve. Now, notice again, it says that negative 2 is a 0. So we will do synthetic division again. And we will use negative 2. And I know my remainder is 0. So when I work this problem, I have to get a 0 here because it's given that negative 2 is a 0. So we are going to start with negative 2 here. And we have 1, 4, negative 1, negative 20, negative 20. Bring down your 1, negative 2, 2, negative 4, negative 5. Multiply, you get 10. Add down, negative 10. 20 is 0. Okay, so we are left with x to the 4th. 4 minus 1 is 3. So you have x cubed plus 2x minus 5x minus 10. And we have to factor this. We'll group 2 and 2. Can take out a x squared. X plus 2. Take out a negative 5, and then be careful. Negative divided by negative is positive. But negative 10 divided by negative 5 becomes a plus 2. So you have x squared minus 5 times x plus 2. So your equation becomes f of x equals x plus 2. That's given that negative 2 is a 0 times x plus 2 times x squared minus 5. Or we could write f of x is equal to x plus 2 quantity squared times x squared minus 5. So if we said x plus 2 equals 0, we get x equal negative 2. And we expected that because it said given negative 2 is a 0. If you said x squared minus 5 equals 0, you get x squared equals 5. Square root both sides. X is equal to plus or minus square root of 5. Exact value. So again, your answers are negative 2 plus or minus square root of 5. So let me go to the side here. If you'll look up, the answers are negative 2 square root of 5, negative 2, positive square root of 5, negative square root of 5. That's what the plus and minus mean. Now, you can also work this given a graph. So it says A, use the graph to determine a solution of the equation. So a solution is the x value when y equals 0. And if you notice, they have given us a graph. So x is equal to, if you count over, 3 when y equals 0. Okay, B, verify your answer. That means when I do synthetic division, I know it's a 0 value. I have to get 0 for my remainder. So again, doing our synthetic division, if you're given a number, you use the 3. And let's see, your equation right there is 5, 7, negative 58, and negative 24. And I know, because I've already gotten it from my graph, I have to have 0. Bring down the 5. 3 times 5 is 15. 15 and 7 is 22. 22 times 3 is 66. Negative 58 plus 66 is 8. 8 times 3 is 24, and I get a 0. Then it says find the remaining solutions to the equation. And again, you're left with an equation here. 5x squared plus 22x plus 8 equals 0. And if I factor that, that's 5x and x. So what times what is 40? That adds to 22. So I want to get 20 and 2. So 5 times 4 is 20. 2 here. So you have 5x plus 2 equals 0. Subtract 2. 5x equal negative 2. Divide by 5, each piece. So x equal negative 2/5. That's an answer. X plus 4 equals 0. X equal negative 4. Okay, now I want you to notice something. The degree of this polynomial is 3, which means I should have 3 answers. So the answers are the 3 from the graph, negative 2 over 5, and negative 4. So you can see that synthetic division is easier to work than long division, and that it will allow you to find function values using the remainder theorem and to decide whether or not x minus a number is a factor. So go try your homework, and I hope you have a great day.